Good morning, Quasar Markets Live. We are live. It's Friday, the 31st of January, the last day of January. Look, it is going to be a jam-packed day here. Howard's Greenberg, my boy, is out today, and I've got you all day today. We're going to talk about PCE numbers coming out this morning. But I want to talk one thing right now. Unemployment costs have gone up. Wages and salaries have gone up. Benefits have gone up. The cost of doing labor and business has gone up. So I'm starting to see a little bit of that expenses, shall we say, are starting to hurt businesses a little bit. You're seeing that now. Also, the Trump talk about tariffs is also hurting, especially in China. We saw yesterday with Apple, their earnings yesterday, that really hurt them because they saw that their sales of iPhones really falling yesterday in China, and that really hurt too as well. I'll talk about pending home sales numbers. I'll pull those up right now. Pending home sales for December, they came in sharply down, down 5.5% month over month, 74.2. That's a big drop. When you see that kind of drop, you're also looking at, because, well, let's be honest, just because the 10-year is pushing higher now. Look at the 10-year now. Pushing up to now gold 2805, 10-year now sitting at 4.513. So look, when you raise rates, it hurts. You saw yesterday with Christine Lagarde finally admitting we need to lower rates, but everything's fine. Nope, not everything's fine. Germany is in recession. You're starting to see that all over Europe. So a lot of things are really happening. And one thing I think we need to talk about is what's next, right? How do we take this and turn it into making money? And I'll tell you, I heard this morning that Trump is going to meet with Jensen Huang, who's the CEO of NVIDIA. NVIDIA popping here a little bit. I also have Tesla stock up on the charts. If you know, join us here at Quasar Markets because, quite frankly, you can see all the news here in one place. You can put it the right way you want to put in there, but right now, hey, we're doing quite well. It looks like Tesla's holding at the $400 handle here, and we're looking at Bitcoin right around 104.6 to 105.6. It's been a kind of a bounce around a little bit too. So all of those numbers are telling me one thing, that quite frankly, people are still nervous out there. I think yesterday Howard and I talked about it. I've just been around the world, and I can tell you that there is a lot of excitement coming back. But it's also very tepid excitement. So businesses are wondering whether or not that we're seeing that yet now as well. All right, we are live here. Talk about it here. And we will talk about PCE numbers, core PCE numbers coming in up 2.8%. They're still above the Fed's 2% target. Pending home sales and stocks are up. So look, even though you saw Apple selling, hey, you know what? The numbers aren't quite all there yet, especially with China. We are still seeing that. Now, I do understand that the next level of all of this, we are seeing advanced decline positive by 15, 17, so it should have a positive day. All of these data points that we're talking about is actually telling us that, hey, you know what? The world isn't so bad. Yes, we get it. Now, when we talked about home prices earlier, we also saw that Beazer home prices down 9% after their earnings miss. So we're not actually making new homes. We're just pretty much selling what we have, and those sales are down too as well. So yeah. All right. If you have any questions out there, come hit us up. I'm in the chat here as well. But I can tell you right now, we are moving forward, and we've got about 27 minutes up until the top of the hour, where we will see the markets turning on. And then we'll see some Chicago PMI numbers coming out of 9:45. So that's a lot going on there as well. All right. Keeping our eyes here in the morning. All right. All right. Middle East, we saw that another 3 hostages were set to be freed today as part of the ongoing Israel-Hamas exchange there. Good to see that, I think, especially as the markets continue to move there. So we're really excited about that as well. All right. Let's push forward here a little bit. NVIDIA now 123.98 now has some of that excitement about Jensen meeting the president today. It's pulled back just a wee bit, some sales. We are seeing institutional sales in NVIDIA, but I expect the retail to continue to buy. I don't think that's going to happen in the institutional right now. I know that Morgan Stanley and have all kind of poo-pooed the numbers and lowered, saying, yeah, let's keep buying NVIDIA, but I'm lowering the rates on the numbers on that one. So, hey, we'll see what goes on there. But I'm still long NVIDIA, still long. We're seeing Tesla slipping even more here going into the morning here. Looks like Tesla now 398. 32 now. So maybe Mr. Doge and his sleeping on the floor in the OEOB might need to wake up a bit and see his stock price slipping a bit here this morning. All right, advanced decline line pushing still up 1500 here, 1517. Dixie, the dollar now 108.28. That's pushing hard against the stocks, right? We need those numbers to come down. Right now, I have Quasar Markets live. We also have Quasar Markets, the platform, up and running. You'll see I have Saturn News running here. I've got our economic calendars up and running here as well. You can see all of it, and got trade halts. Wow, look at that. Continue to sell off there in Tesla. People are taking some profit there, I guess, this morning. I think that we'll see it pushing higher up this morning, though. Yep, we're hearing reports now that NVIDIA CEO has declined to comment on reports that he is meeting Trump at the White House amid DeepSeek rise. So I think that's part of it. I think that they want to know just how bad is it, and how bad is this. Looks like China ripped off OpenAI. So if that's the case, yeah. All right. Occidental Petroleum, Mr. Himself, Warren Buffett, the company that he owns, has been downgraded by Goldman Sachs to a sell. Pull up Oxy up here for you. There you go. Oxy's now up and running here, and now seeing 48.35 now a share. Wow, they've cut the target there also from 54 to 45. So stock down about 1%. Goldman Sachs and Warren Buffett not getting along, I guess. Because we're also seeing ExxonMobil this morning. Their earnings beat was 167. Expected there was 155. Free cash flow there was $8 billion. That was a big beat there. Big beat. Hey, 6.6 billion was the estimate there. As revenue fell 1.1% to 83.43 billion. We are seeing ExxonMobil here, and I'll pull up ExxonMobil here for us. XOM is down just a wee bit here too as well. So we'll pull that up as well. And there's the 1 minute chart. Looks like they're going to see some movement there as well. All right. Okay. Keeping going, I guess we got NVIDIA still 124.13 this morning here. Still trying here a little bit. We'll see. Okay, pushing forward here, looking like light sweet crude here, light crude oil futures now 72.77 now a barrel. A little bit of a slippage there from yesterday, but it looks like we're going to keep above the 70 handle for a little while. We kind of need that in order for these companies to be profitable. We know that as a fact. And we heard that Trump is going to do a couple things. He's going to replace the SPR. So if that's the case, that should put an underpinning under the oil futures. But I will say this much: he's heard from from Canada this morning saying that if they put a tariff on oil, that the United States should be prepared to get their oil from Venezuela. Now, listen, I know we have enough oil in the United States, so I'm not too worried about that too much. So looks like that's a big question mark around that, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. All right, keeping going here. Looks like this morning, Eli Lilly here down about 0.5%. Yesterday was up 2.38%. Also, looks like a Royal Caribbean as well. I think Royal Caribbean was one that we've been talking about the last few days. Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, RCL. I will pull that up here as well, RCL. There we go. And I'll put the 1 minute chart for us so we can see that's 275.58. Remember that was during COVID, under 100 there, getting down to about $60, $70 a share. Very simple. We're now 275.88. So they have found a way to bounce back. And as you all know, I like best in class. So I'm a big fan of RCL. Dollars pushing higher, 108.33. So continue to push here as well. I'm hearing that Trump's envoy, Grenell, will meet with Venezuela's Maduro in Venezuela on Friday, according to CNN. So there you go. Could be a move there, as we talked about Canada, saying we might be relying on Venezuelan oil. I don't think that's the case. Chicago PMI numbers, we're expecting a forecast there of 40. Prior reading there was 36.9. Canada's budget will come out at 11 o'clock Eastern time. We expected prior reading there was minus 1.49 billion Canadian dollars, or the loonie, but budget year to date down 14.5 billion. So we're looking at that number too as well. All right. Pushing forward here, we're seeing here now that we saw this morning that Vertex Pharmaceuticals, if you know Vertex Pharmaceuticals, they're jumping this morning here. I'll pull up VRTX here on the accounts. VRTX. We're seeing Vertex pulling back just a wee bit in the last 5 minutes, but $452 a share here now as Vertex won a big approval for a non-opioid pain treatment, Gervanex. Good for them. You know, it's a big win because the opioids has been a big winner here over the last years, and we saw where the pharmas have been sued, especially Purdue Pharmaceuticals. And now Vertex has come out with a new drug now that is actually non-opioid. So good for them. This morning, we also saw Atlassian, that's TEAM now. Their revenue is topping big time here. BigBeat there is 21% up to $1.29 billion. Their revenue guidance also beat. So guess what their CEO is saying? Yep, AI is driving collaboration, and that's what we need to hear from Atlassian, as they are the company that pretty much handles all of software development. So when you see Atlassian pushing higher, you can tell you that software development is pushing higher. We also seen one thing. We all have one in our pocketbooks. It's Visa. Visa now saying their earnings 2.75 a share. That was a big beat again. 266 was the actual estimate. Revenue up 10%. To me, I think that has to do a lot with their M&A happening. We talked about M&A, Howard. I've been talking about that over the last few months, that as the new administration come in, the old FTC that was stopping every M&A, now that's gone, completely out of the picture, and now M&A, and that pushes revenue up for Visa as well as MasterCard MA. We also saw Intel. We all know where INTC is going. I'll pull Intel up too as well. INTC. They saw their revenue falling 7% year over year, 14.3 billion. But they still beat on the estimates at 13.8 billion, adjusted EPS of 13 cents. They beat there by a penny, not much, but by a penny. And the revenue guidance there, 11.7 billion to 12.7 billion. Again, not beating on the guidance, so missing there. And of course, Intel down this morning once again. I think probably the big thing today to talk about in the big takeaway is Apple with their earnings coming in. iPhone sales slipping a bit by about 1%, missing their estimates. But I will say that total revenue jumped because of services. So we're seeing revenue there hitting an all-time high. We're seeing it now on the ticker there, 26.34 billion. And of course, Apple stock up this morning here. We're seeing push higher now on Royal Caribbean RCL now up 0.4%. Apple now up 4.04% here, and Bitcoin now at 104,798. So good stuff there going on there. We do have trade halts in the morning. So if you're watching and following along, you can see the trade halts is right there on the bottom right-hand corner. And we like that so we know what stocks are stopping here. This morning, we will have Steve Flanagan with Money Moves First. You know, he's Mr. Currency, is a former JP Morgan desk. And so I'm looking forward to talking to him as well this morning. Okay, looks like keeping our eye closely on the 10-year here. 10-year Treasury now sitting at 31 point. Look at that. Light sweet crude 72.89 now a barrel. Silver now 31.59. Wow, a little bit of a pullback from yesterday, but going towards that 32 handle. And of course, the 10-year now 4.523%. So pushing here. Looks like some interesting things. All right, labor market and wages, employment cost index up 0.9% in the fourth quarter. That was expected. But wages and salaries growth. We talked about that this morning already. Look, it is more cost to businesses. So I expect that. German inflation has fallen now 2.3%. We were expecting 2.6%, but that is right around what the ECB was talking about. I'll post that right now in the banner here below so you can get a good view of that. There you go. There you go. Excellent. And show it. There you go. German inflation now falling 2.3% versus 2.6%, supporting an ECB's dovish stance, and the euro is now bouncing back to 104. All right. Good. Excellent. All right. Looks like housing market still struggling and personal spending up 0.7%. So we can pull that up and put that on the ticker there, PCI there. Hopefully you can see that. Still above the Fed's target 2%, spending up 0.7%. So there you go. All right. Keeping our eye here on Tesla, 398.55, still under that 400 handle. So wake up, Mr. Elon. See what's going on here. All right. You haven't had a chance. I'm going to pull it up right now. I'm going to say here, log into quasarmarkets.com. If you want, you can go right up here, click that register button. You can get a free account here, starting your account with us. And then if you don't want the ads, which I know what he does, it's $15 a month after that. Click on log in from there. You can log right into the system after that. But we want to make sure you have a chance to do that. So it's quasarmarkets.com. You're already watching us here live, so we might as well sign up, get that free account started. All right, we're getting back to it now, looking at we also have weather. We'll pull up the weather here, National Weather Service here in where I'm at. Looks like it's gonna be a little bit warm today. We look around the world, looks like it's gonna be a little cooler in Chicago and New York and DC. We can also pull up Rain Viewer as well in your system. You can actually see all of that. You can see rain if there's rain in your system. You can also look at sports. You can look at that sport-wise and sports itself. You can pull up all the sports going on live and see all of it today. We've got in Australia. That's right, all over the world, not just here in the United States. You can pull up those numbers. You can look at tomorrow's numbers, what's scheduled here, all of it. There we go. And you can see sports in America and standings. You can see standings. You can see, there you go. North Central, the Caribbean Series. There you go. Japan and Breeze. I kind of like them, actually. All right. And the homepage, pull back up. You can pull up right here. You can see all of the different things. We have Pluto News, which is our press releases. You can see Uniswap there. Labs introducing version 4 this morning here. Wow, lots of news coming in this morning. So, there you go. Suntory Spirits out of Japan. They're becoming a founding partner for IG Arena. So they're growing out their business, looking for that to go. And we also have Twitter news. So you can see here, there you go. A Twitter from CNBC and Bloomberg and Reuters right there in the platform. So all kinds of cool things actually going on. And I'll get right back to the widgets so that you can build your own screen. You can do that really simple. Just by clicking the button here and adding widgets, you can see we have over 350 different things, including government, trading economics, Twitter news. Trading View has everything in it. You can see the stocks heat map. We'll put that heat map up there for you. We'll save that. And right there it is. So now we know it's down. This morning, Microsoft down 6.18%. Amazon also losing about 1.03%. So rough morning there for them. Cool. All right, you can see here, mom goes viral for how she rejects sleep training to get a full night's rest. There you go. CVB Bancorp now appointing a COO. So look, you get this news in real time, right in front of your face. Love that stuff as fast as possible. All right. That. And then we'll pull up the save. And now you'll see the German data inflation there falling 2.3%. There you go. Apple now pushing a little higher here, 4.1% here. This morning we saw them up about $6 in the overnight, and now up about $9, almost $10 a share now. So we are pushing higher here. Got about 10 minutes now into the open. I'm expecting pretty much an up day here. Dixie still pushing higher, 108.14 or 41. So that will put some pressure on the markets, but I'm not too scared here this morning. I kind of like this market here. In fact, as you all know, I'm actually long NVIDIA this morning. I've been long for a little while now. And there you go. Look at that, 124.60. There we go. We're pushing up again. So I'm liking NVIDIA here this morning. Those of you who bought with me yesterday, 2 days ago, 118.30. We're about $6 here already. So congratulations on this buy. Now, I've been I have been actually pushing here and buying more. So I've been lowering my entry here. So we'll see if I can get back to the 133 handle. I think that's where I'm at 132.80, somewhere around there. So I think we'll get back there probably maybe next week sometime. You saw me not too long ago. I was on Schwab Network. I'm talking about Netflix, and of course Netflix. I said Netflix would go to 1,000. We got that right. Pull up a daily chart there. We got the 1,000. You can see the 1,000 handle up here. But I think we go higher. I think Netflix and chill has been the winner here. They've been. But what is it about Netflix that I liked so much? And that was easy for me. That was telling me that the international expansion was good, and so we saw that. And guess what? It pushed up. So loving that a lot. I think Netflix continues to push above that 1,000 handle. And that's where I think we are today. So, yeah. All right. Look at the numbers coming in. The views are high here. I love it. Keep that going. Look, we just started this about 4 months ago, and here we are already. Yesterday, we hit over 55,000 views. So we appreciate that. We appreciate everybody out there watching. Keeping their eyes. It looks like we're the trending team on the planet right now. So I'm liking that. As we have our international expansion of Japan in over 30 languages. We're not just in one country. We're in countries. We are moving very fast now. And what's cool about all that is that we're actually hitting the numbers. So loving that quite well here. I'm going to pin this. Yeah. Excellent. All right. Okay. Yep. Those unemployment costs are really what's have been bothering me a little bit. Up almost 1% in Q4. To me, that tells me everything. Look, when you're looking at a company, especially companies like Apple, and you saw this morning Costco, COST, talking about it. I'll pull up Costco's numbers here. I'll pull that up so everybody sees what I'm talking about. Costco said something that was very interesting to me yesterday, that they are saying that on the average, they're going to start paying $30 per person employee on the average. That's going to raise for inflation, of course. But that's been a big talk on the Democrat side, and so to raise the labor costs. $30 per person, so that's right around $60,000 per year for an average person. So hey, that could put some pressure on Costco on their bottom line, their margins. You saw the margins on Apple at 49% yesterday, so those are pretty high numbers in my opinion. You'll see right here, Saturday News. Yep, that's right. It's in Arabic. We've got Arabic news on the platform, so that's right. What's one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we did was have international news. Now, when you refresh the screen, we'll do that for you so you can see. This is how Quasar Markets comes up, and you'll see as how fast it actually pulls up for us. So that is exactly how fast the machine is. We wanted to make it in a way that didn't matter if you saw it on your Oculus, your Apple Vision Pro, your watch, that the machine actually works for you. And so we saw that happening, and we like that as well. So there you go. 104,560 now on Bitcoin. I think the markets are slowing down in the crypto space this morning as we wait for the open here in about 7 minutes. Tick indicating now flat, down about 3 or up 16 now. Flat. I think they're waiting on some more news. I'm not sure what news they're going to be waiting on because we're not seeing much this morning. If you can see right here, the only thing that we're looking at now this morning is Chicago PMI. The prior reading is 36.9. 40 is what they're expecting. Anything under 50, as we all know, is contraction. That's bad news, as Chicago's hurting a little bit. So we'd like to see Chicago manufacturing and their PMI numbers pushing up a bit here. So haven't seen that yet. Seeing it once again. There you go. Yep, there you go. See AT&T unloading 8 underutilized South Florida properties. I think that's what you're going to start seeing. I think, Elon Musk and Trump is talking about bringing people back to work in the government. And if you see these places that are not actually utilizing these buildings, I think you're going to start to see these buildings start to be sold off, especially in the government and big companies that aren't utilizing them. And I think you're going to see a revitalization of these buildings turning into mixed-use housing and businesses. I think that's what we're looking at. Brookfield Business Partners there swings to a net loss in Q4 as revenue slides. There you go. You can also pull up in the read more. You can also see, There you go. You can actually see the actual articles. We wanted to make sure that you got to actually see the actual articles. So love that. Yep, back to normal here. All right, we're waiting on the open here. We've got about should be open here in about 5 minutes here. We're seeing a little bit of selling here in Apple here now. I'll pull up Apple stock here. There we go. Boom. There we go. There's Apple stock now, 247.27. I don't think I would be worried about it too much. It's a nice little drop there. I'm not too worried about it. I think I kind of like this. Pull some indicators, add an indicator here. We'll pull up advanced decline on it. There you go. Kind of get the idea what's going on. Looks like it could possibly be a buy right down here with these indicators. And I'll pull up the Bollinger Bands there. That's how fast that's how fast our machines move. All right, there it is. Look at that. And it's holding right in the lines. So looks like Apple could possibly be bought here over the 5 minute. And then if I look at a 15-minute chart here, it's right in the numbers. So they're bouncing off this. So not bad here. I kind of like these numbers here. All right. Let's get back to it. Let's see what good old Tesla is doing here this morning. Tesla back above the 400 handle here, 435. And NVIDIA 124.22. So we'll do the same thing for NVIDIA here. There we go, NVIDIA now. Yeah, it looks like NVIDIA could possibly be pushing here a little bit. I think people have been asking me what are my indicators that I like. My goodness, I've got a lot that I like. Sometimes my machines looks like squiggly lines, but they're not. You can see right now how we have the lines there. All right, and I'll pull up the 1 minute chart. There you go. And I will pull down. This is reconfiguring, and then I will refresh the chart for you. There you go. And I will pull up Apple. All right, pull it back a little bit. There we go. 124.09 right now. 124.010. 124.03. So NVIDIA is traveling pretty fast here this morning. Put the 1 minute chart here. I think if we can stay over the 124 handle here, I think we go higher all day today. So be careful there. We got about 2 minutes now until the open. Looks like that's about where we are here. Yeah, looking here. I'm trying to keep my eye on this. Yep. Here reports down that the FTSE 100 has now hit the highest level in 40 years, driven by significant gains in European stock markets as investors are now shifting away. If you listen to me over the last few days, you know dang well what I was talking about. That I said, and I'm going to add that ticker right now to it. The FTSE 100 now reaching the highest level. That it was time to move money away from the U.S. market and into things that were getting beaten up. And the European stock market, to me, seemed to be that it was struggling, and American tech stocks were struggling. So that money was probably going to come over back to Europe, and we're now making all-time highs there. So, when you look at the market in general right now, you're seeing that international money in the U.S. markets is at the highest level, and that's not usually a good sign. That's usually pretty much a bad sign. So do I think a pullback is going to happen? I think a pullback already happened. So there's a lot of money sitting on the sidelines, and I think that's where we are. All right, we got about 1 minute now until the open. We are pointing to a higher open here. So we'll see how that goes. Look at this. I'll show you one thing you can do. And you add a widget, you can actually add, excuse me, you can actually add news, and we'll put Schwab Network in here. Look at that. Look how fast we added Schwab Network right into the system. You all know me. I love Schwab Network. You can literally put it right into your system. That's how fast it is. You can actually watch it in your system as you are watching the market. You don't have to have 25 screens anymore. You can watch your stocks, watch your screens, and watch, in this case, we can watch performance. The S&P 500 sector here, I'm going to change that to the NASDAQ 100 this morning and show you where the things are moving. Look, you can tell Google and Meta are up. NVIDIA is up a little bit here. Why yesterday? Why? Because AI is still the word on the street. I like AI. I've been talking about AI for about, well, I've personally been talking about it for 15 years. I've been running around the world talking about AI for 12. And over the last few years, we've been building AI for us. And you can get AI right into the system, and we can show you that too some point today. But here we go. We've got about 15 seconds now until the open. I will pull up the QQQ. We'll keep our eye on the direction here of the Qs and QQQ, Pro Shores, QLD. There you go. The Ultras. There you go. So here we go. We'll see how it reacts this morning on the open. We are seeing a positive reaction here on the open so far. 123.92 right under the 124 handle. Stocks ticks under 351. But we are seeing NVIDIA back above 400, 402. I'm still long on NVIDIA. For those of you who are playing home with me, I'm still long NVIDIA. We'll pull that up really fast. There you go. There you go. NVIDIA 123.74. Tesla 402.57. 402.70 now in Tesla. So we woke up a little bit there on Tesla. Still pushing here a little bit. Looks like the Bulls and the Bears are fighting it out right now. Yep, starting in the open here, we are starting to see it. Ba-boom, ba-boom for 123.74. I like this. I like this a lot. I think NVIDIA may push higher here this morning. 123.74. It's really fighting here this morning. There's the 5-minute chart. But I tell you what, if you look at the 1-minute chart, I think you're going to see a pop here. There it is, 123.74. Let's see if I get what I think is correct. So far we'll see 404.70 now on Tesla here. So, man, it's moving. There you go. There you go. NVIDIA now pushing back up a little bit. I had a feeling that was the case. All right, look at all the views now we're getting on the screens now. Here we go. Look at that. Popping again on NVIDIA. I had a feeling we're going to see it. 406.35 now on Tesla. Yeah, 2 days ago we saw about 407. Let's see if it breaks that. 124.27 now on NVIDIA. If it held here, we're going to push, and it did. Look at that. So we nailed that one this morning. Well done, everybody. If you're paying attention at home. So really like that. But I'm not a big fan of it right now. Just keep your eye on it. Keep going. I think it'll be pushing all the way throughout the day. All right. Looks like I'm getting several messages here coming through. Yep. Keeping the pushing here now. There it is. Continue 124.15 now on NVIDIA. A little bit of profit taking there. Looks like in Tesla, just a little bit there. 404.11. NVIDIA pushing all over the place. Meli, M-E-L-I, Mercado Libre there, getting big numbers there. 1960.95 now, M-E-L-I. I will put that up on the screen here for us. That is, if you don't know, that's the Amazon of Latin America. And look at that price pushing higher here. Yeah, so I like that there. Now Meli up about 0.7% on the day. There we go. Tesla trying to push again here. That's what we're seeing. It tick down 320 right now. Let's keep our eye on the Meli pumping. There you go. See, there you go. NVIDIA now still moving higher here. 124, 123.74. So it's having a fight, but I'm not scared of it. Looks like retail is buying and institution is selling. We know what that usually means. That usually means a push to the upside again. All right, because zero DTEs are pushing here. Yeah. Mexico's President Sheinbaum now says U.S. tariffs of 25% on Mexico would set aside the USMCA there. I will put that right there in the banner so you can all see what we're talking about here. There you go. Here you go. Mexico's President Sheinbaum says U.S. tariffs of 25% on Mexico would set aside the USMCA. So there you go. All right, Tesla pushing higher here, 406 again. We talked about that this morning. If we can get that to happen, we should see a push. There it is, 406.10, now 406.47 now on Tesla. I'll bring Tesla back up here. They're now talking about silver now on Schwab Network. Awesome, 407 now on Tesla. Look at that. Called it this morning, so if you're paying attention this morning with me, we got it. There you go. I like that a lot. Boom. And still pushing here, 407.23 right now. Yeah. Chicago PMI numbers coming out here in about 10 minutes. Once again, expecting about 40. We all know that anything under 50 is still contraction, but the prior reading there was 36.9, so you can see that right there. We're seeing Global Star Acquisition, GLST, has been halted. Excuse me. Still not under the weather this morning there. But here we go. I'll pull it up here, and we'll look at the Russell 1000. Still having a rough morning there. Yeah. Microsoft pushing just a little bit higher here this morning, so liking that a little bit. 405.60 could be a little bit of profit taking there now on Tesla. Yep. Pull up a sector here. Pull up performance of 1 hour. There you go. Performance here on the 1 hour here now, seeing Apple down just a wee bit, Amazon down just a wee bit, Tesla still, but I like this. I like this push here. I really do. All right, keep the views going. I like this numbers this morning here. I appreciate that. We're now continuing to push higher here. I love the views. Thank you so far. If there's any comments out there, good morning. Good morning to you, Marianne. Very cool. Love it. If you're out there and you see our views and you see our show, just retweet it out there. Show everybody else the love. Show us what we got going on so everybody understands. I appreciate that. Yeah. This morning, KLAC, we'll pull those numbers up there so you can all see that. Add better. There you go. There you go. KLAC, their Q2 earnings yesterday, $8.20 a share, beating a big time, big beat there. $7.75 was the estimate. Revenue up 24%. So, yeah. All right, we're seeing NVIDIA getting a little bit of a hit here. I'm not liking this hit down at 1%. Like I said, institutional selling, so what? I like the retail. They understand NVIDIA. Institutionals do not right now. They don't really understand. They think that OpenAI is all that's out there. I don't answer that question too easily because, quite frankly, we just don't know right now. Tesla pushing higher here now. Look at that. Look at Tesla. Tesla 407.55. We kept talking about that this morning. Tesla continuing to push here. So I'm really, really if you hit me with that yesterday, we were right around 398. So now we're at 407.80 now. I'll probably take some profit around 410, 412. If I break right here, we could push right on up to the 410 handle pretty quickly. And I think that's the key. There you go. NVIDIA pushing right back up. That's what I thought. Right there as the institutions are selling, but the retail is buying, and they're buying the zero DTEs on that. So silver 31.45 holding steady there. Now seeing that gas pushing a little bit, 348 now, 1,000 cubic feet. There you go. See, I told you. Tesla 408.12. We get to 410. We could break there. It could be even higher than that. We just broke above. Look at that number breaking above. So if you're keeping on track at home, look at that. It broke above. Liking these numbers. If you want to take some profit, I'll never, ever hold you against it. 408.20, 408.30. Yep, there we go. See, we're breaking above again. So that's what I'm saying. Now we got to get above that 408.82. It's going to be a little tougher there. And then, of course, if we do that, right there's 412.57. See, that's what happens when you're here with Quasar Markets. We are a professional firm. We're not some lackeys from there it is, 408.60. We can break that 408.80, and you can say hello 410. So keeping our eye pretty tight on that. Congratulations for those of you who are playing at home. All right. UK's 10-year now falling to 4.5%. That's the lowest level this year. I will put that banner up as well. There you go. UK 10-year yield falling 4 basis points there to 4.52. That's the lowest level this year as we start to see some of those rates falling now. 409.13 now. Like I said, if 410's coming up, there it is. Can we get it? I would not blame anyone out there if you took some profit here at 409. But if you break that 410 where we were, look at there. We did it. 409.14. There it is. Could break there, could go to 412 very easily, especially that 410.72, which I think 410.50 is where I will be taking some profit. So if you're watching at home, congratulations, you did it. I like this a lot. This is good. Tesla there. NVIDIA trying to break back above the 124 handle here, so I like that a lot too. Google also up $3 here now, up about 1.5%. There you go. We did it. Now let's look at NVIDIA real quick. I'll pull that up real quickly for us and see it. There you go. I said it, called it this morning. That's what we're going to see. And here we are. And keeping our eye still, looks like some pullback a little bit in Bitcoin, but I'm not too worried about that Bitcoin move there. So that's good. Canada's Prime Minister Trudeau says if we have to act, we wouldn't relent until tariffs are removed, as everything is on the table. We could have ourselves a little bit of a war going on when it comes to, there we go. Let's see if we can pull it up. There you go. Canada's Prime Minister Trudeau now says if we have to act, we wouldn't relent until tariffs are removed. That's some talk there. All right, NVIDIA, congratulations to those of you who were listening to me this morning. 124.80. For those of you who are playing at home, we are not scared, are we? We do not play around when we invest. We don't trade like crazy. We put money right where it's supposed to be, and there it is. We saw those numbers this morning, and now 124.68. Yesterday we were in at 118. So congratulations for all of you who are hanging with me yesterday. All right. Got about look at the views coming in like that. Give me a like out there on the Twitter sphere there as well, because we know we hit that quite well there. Look at that number popping there still on NVIDIA 120. Can we hit 125 like I called yesterday? I think so. Yep, I think so. All right, we got about 10 minutes now. We got 3 minutes now until the numbers coming out here. We'll pull that up for everybody to see. Chicago PMI numbers coming out in about 3 minutes now. Here we go. I think the people are waiting on the numbers here for Chicago PMI. Looks like tough talk coming out of Prime Minister Trudeau's mouth. Canada's Prime Minister Trudeau's analysis of countermeasures have to be imposed. Anything we'll do will be fair, right across the country. So it looks like we're going to have a tariff war pretty soon. So I'm not wow. I don't want to see that too much, but that is what it is. Benson Hill at 940 did have a halt there. Looks like a LUDP there. So 940 BHIL. Not telling you whether to buy or sell here. Obviously, we're seeing some of these stops. Yep, NVIDIA pulling back just a wee bit here. We saw that 125 was the number. I called it now, but I expect this a little bit of profit taking, and then I think we move right back on up. So we are seeing some heavy selling a little bit, but I think it's mostly just no big deal to me. I kind of like that selling there. I like that selling. Excellent. And I got right back to those numbers. We'll pull that up too as well. I'll pull up the advanced decline. There you go. There you go. It's kind of right in the what I call no man's land in trading, but we're right about the numbers. Yeah. And I think we'll go right back up as soon as those zero deets are done selling, they'll go right back up, because I think now we're starting to see some institutional buying coming in here. Liking that a lot, actually. 104.5 now coming in on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's slowing down a bit. NVIDIA, look at that. Look at that selling there. 123.84. Look, that's just options trading. I don't see much there. For those of you who don't know, we do have options. You can trade the options. You can look at the options markets right from the system. There's options chain. There you go. We can put it in. I'll just save that right there so you can see it. And all you do is you just put in the symbol that you want. You can see right here. You can see I close it out and put NVIDIA into it. NVDA, and there's, then refresh the page, and there is, oops, sorry about that, my bad. There you go. There's NVIDIA's options. There's February 7th options are now trading, so you can keep your eye on the midpoints there, which is right around here, 124, 125. You can see we're seeing some buyers in here. Look at the volume in here, 8,265 with open interest of 36,000. So it looks like to me a lot of spoofing, and that's a good sign. So 125 for next Friday looks pretty good. Actually, looks like we're going to see that. So that's there. Yeah. All right, continuing to push higher here a little bit. Tick now down about 303 down here, so that could be one of those. All right, let's keep our eye on NVIDIA there. The pullback seems to have slowed down just a wee bit. The 124 handle, I think we go right back up here. There you go. See, there you go. Those nervous Nellies can't sell enough. There you go. Right back up she goes. I like nervous money. It makes me money. I like that. Chicago PMI now coming in at 39.5. Previous reading there was 40. We expected 36.9. That is bad reading for Chicago. Once again, Chicago PMI, bad numbers coming in, 39.5. It's better than the 36.9 that was expected, but still just not quite there yet. So, yeah. We'll hide that. And now we'll add that to the banner down below so you guys can see that. There you go. PMI 39.5, expected 36.9. So the previous reading there was 40. So Chicago PMI numbers coming in, still light, better than expected, but still light. That should put some pressure back up on some of these stocks, as it's pushing some pressure on the Fed actually to start to lower rates again. So 124.26, that 124 handle is right where it should be on NVIDIA as we start to push back up. I think we're starting to see a little bit of a 10-year now slipping a bit, 4.5. So that's also adding some pressure to the upside there on the market. So could see a little bit more pushing there as well. Got about 13 minutes to the top of the hour here, and don't really see much news, and there's no big numbers coming out here. So pretty excited about that. That puts everybody at the 10 o'clock hour. If you're trading between, we're hearing now reports that he will be in the White House. NVIDIA's boss, Jensen Huang, will be set to meet Trump at the White House today. So we're now hearing that quite a bit more now. So, yeah, there you go. All right, 124.16 now. So any stocks out there that you want to hear about, let me know. Put it in there, and we'll definitely talk about it this morning here. There you go. Views are going up. I like that. That means you're watching. One thing this morning that we talked about, was German inflation this morning, falling 2.3%. That's good. But you heard from Christine Lagarde yesterday talking about that inflation was still going up. I don't know what she was talking about. I really didn't understand that. She said that inflation was kind of in check, but I don't really know what she was talking about. So when I look at that perspective and I see the actual numbers here when inflation is coming down, look, then it's time to lower rates. They did that to about a quarter basis point, but I think it needs to come down even more than that. I think you're going to start to see even more lowering of rates. That'll set the precedence for us as the Fed will now meet in March. So we got a few months now to deal with that. But I think you'll see at least 2 or 3 rate cuts this year. We will talk about that, but I do see, Yep. So right now we're seeing a little bit of selling here now in NVIDIA because of that. Google now pushing higher near the highs of the day, 205.58. So we got about 10 more minutes now into the top of the hour. At the top of the hour, we will see my friend Steve Flanagan, former head of JP Morgan's currency desk, and he will be talking to us about currency as we do that. So pretty excited to hear from my buddy Steve Flanagan. So if you're not watching us now, you will definitely watch him because he definitely has been hitting the numbers I mean, right on target. He knew. Talked to you the other day about the what was going on in Europe, and he nailed it, telling you that yes, we're going to have to cut rates, and Christine Lagarde did that. So yeah, all right, we're still seeing some selling in Nvidia here. I don't like the selling here, 123.64. I do expect the bounce right back up. So I don't think the selling here is too much to worry about here. Yeah, there we go. There it goes, right back on up. There's the buyers. Yeah, I don't see it. I see it in a as you can see here, right into a kind of a channel. I can pull that up if you'd like, a Keltner channel for you. Pull that up for you. I like the Keltner. If you don't know, I do like Keltner channels. You'll see it right here. I'll pull that up for you. There you go. And you can see it's bouncing right up above that one. So that I do like. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that buy pickup down there. Hopefully you listened to me and got that pickup there. There you go. We don't tell anybody what to buy or sell here. I just tell what I see in the markets. And of course, I've been doing this 33 years. So it's a long time in the markets, but I want to bring that expertise to you as well. All right. Here we go. 104.1 now on Bitcoin. I'm not liking the selling in Bitcoin here, but that's probably some options. Probably some cleaning out there, but that's about what we're seeing right now. Look at that. Look at that. ASML there now up 1.75% as well. ASML. So these chip sectors are bouncing back. I think a lot of it has to do with Trump being, meeting with Jensen Huang in the White House today. So that would definitely change the tune of a lot of people here so far. Yeah. $749.82 now on ASML, about 1.8% here. Yeah. Hearing that Department of Homeland Security Secretary, would be Kristi Noem. She's now joining officers in New York City for deportation raids targeting individuals with serious criminal charges, including kidnapping and assault. So looks like they are going after those people. There we go. Add the banner, and we'll show that now that she is going after those bad boys that seems to be in New York. Looks like that she's personally, the Department of Homeland Security's secretary, actually personally going on these raids. Google now pushing a little higher here again. 205.71. 206 seems to be the top there. So looking back at Tesla once again here, Tesla 412.29. I did like it a little higher there, but looks like I think it's just a little bit of a pullback there. Some profit taking this morning, as tick now down 184. Nvidia trying to get back to that 124 handle. I think we do that pretty quickly, and I think we push above that here pretty soon. Google nearing the highs of the day here. 205.71 is the high. 72 is the high of the day, and we are there now at the highs of the day on Google. We talked about that this morning. There it is, 205.74, breaking the high of the day there on Google. So you got to like that, as we've been talking about Google quite a bit here. If you haven't had a chance, make sure you go to quasarmarkets.com, and go right up to the top, click on the register button there so you can get yourself a free account, start it up, and look, we could get there, and yeah, there's ads, but we can get rid of those ads very quickly. We built the machine in React, so you can see a little bit of what's going on here in the news. You can see a little bit of the weather. That weather is where I'm at, but I can also tell you what's going on with you. And maybe a little bit later, we'll show you the AI. Maybe Monday or Tuesday, we'll show you how our AI differs and why we've won 4 awards so far. So I'm pretty excited about that. Pretty soon, we're going to have lots of educators coming in. A few weeks, we will have tons of educators. We're excited about that as well. Our dashboard, look, you can see this thing in Oculus, Apple Vision Pro, desktop, tablet, mobile. Make sure you do that. Make sure you hear it. Make sure you see it. And look, why are we doing so well? Because we have a killer team. We have a really good, there we go, NVIDIA popping there. I talked to you about that a few minutes ago. We said that we should see NVIDIA pushing here. So we did. Look at that. Look at that. I'm loving that. Boom. Look at that pop there. I'll pull up NVIDIA. If you were listening to me this morning, you nailed it. There it is. NVIDIA. I wasn't too concerned about it. I said we get back above 124. Look at that. Boom. So I think we break above 125.03. We could easily go right on up, making highs of the day. So let's see if we can do that here. Look at that. Look at that. I wasn't scared with that sell. Look at that. Boom. Let's see if we can break right here, 124.52. But if we do that, we're going to go right on up. 206.24 now, the highs of the day on Google. We just talked about that 2 seconds ago. So, hey, hopefully you're listening in to me. $206.11 now there on Google now. 1044. Bitcoin is really holding. There you go. Alphabet now on the highs of the day. Now 206.16. We said that. Yep. These numbers on Chicago PMI really bother me a lot. Look at that. Look at NVIDIA moving there a little higher, 124.56. I'm telling you, we could go right on up to 124.64 here. If we push a little bit more here, we could get right back to the highs of the day there on NVIDIA, as those shorts are covering here this morning. Light sweet crude falling here, $72 a barrel now, 72.01. That will help a lot on those numbers. 106.31 now on Google here, on Alphabet, GOOG, pushing higher here. Tick now, advanced decline now, positive by 149. But the tick now still down by 102, so we're still not quite there yet. It's not quite there yet. Looks like one construction there at 949 was halted, ONEG. Look at that, 206.43 now on Google, highs of the day. We are pushing just a wee bit higher here. Yeah, tick now down 38, pretty flat there. So NVIDIA struggling at that number there at 124.45. But I think we don't struggle too much. I think once the 10 o'clock hour is over with, I think we push right on through. I think once those traders get away from it, I think we could push right on up, especially with Jensen being in the White House. Could be Trump and Jensen talking today, so there could be really good news there. I certainly wouldn't want to be short on this stock or selling. But again, we don't tell you what to do, but to buy or sell. One 188 now on the advanced decline, positive 188. So that this should hold the market to a little bit. Light sweet crude WTI now 71.99, 72.01 now, right at the $72 handle. No buyers, no bids in there. So as oil pulls down, that should push should push markets up a little bit. Yeah, 124.45 there. See, NVIDIA now could possibly go right back on up. These factors affect it. This is why we built Quasar Markets. It isn't just about screaming zero DTEs or whatever. It's about understanding how all of the market works together and how institutionals look at the market. It's not just charting. It's not just news. It's every factor. And how does that come together? We want to make sure that we gave you all that news, all that data in one place and let you see it the way that you wanted to see it. Now, these are my screens. I'll show you if you want. I've got several screens. You can see that I can watch just about everything at one time. You can see, there you go. I can see stock twits, Twitter news on this, EIA oil numbers, market movers, TCTM, TDTH there this morning. I can see buyers and sellers. I can pretty much see that. There you go, 124.71. Those of you listening to me this morning, no, we were looking at 125 there on. There you go, NVIDIA, 124.86, 124.89. And there you go. If you're listening to me this morning, you're absolutely doing quite well this morning. There you go. We actually included Google Trends. We've got 125 on NVIDIA, 125.12 breaks the high of the day. If you were listening to me, congratulations. We absolutely nailed that this morning. And I'll tell you that right now you can see, pull it up. It is a neutral market for the last 15 minutes. But if you were listening to me in the last 5 minutes, it was a buy, 125.09. So we crushed this morning. Congratulations if you were listening to me this morning. Yeah. AstraZeneca, they're abandoning plans to invest $450 million into a UK vaccine manufacturing plant. 125.33 now in NVIDIA, up 0.5% now. Congrats for those of you who were listening in this morning. You can see I have news from all around the world. You can also watch, there's France 24. You can watch CNBC, Bloomberg, Saturn News. It's crazy. There it is. There you go. You can watch it in Japanese.
Comments out of Needham on Deckers, DECK. They say the sell-off in the shares is about.
All right. And we can also see it, and you can see in my case, you can see it in all different languages. And you can also see it in time zones, market fundamentals. We have all of that data. You want to see the fundamentals on NVIDIA? You want to understand why we're pushing higher? There you go. That's how fast our system is right now. You can see we can market caps and all that data, corporate actions, financials. It's all in here. You can see also one of the things I want to show you, point out to you, you can actually buy and sell gold and silver right from the platform. I do it all the time. I've been buying my silver right here. Look at that. British Royal Mint Bullion. A 1 ounce platinum right there is now 1,088. You can buy it right from the platform. You can add to your cart and buy as much as you want. And this is the options menu. I like watching the options world. We did talk. There it is. There's my NVIDIA play this morning. If you saw me yesterday, I was buying at 118.33. Look at that. That's where I bought. Right here's where we are. You know where I'm selling, so I'm not quite there yet, but that's where we are. Look how fast we are. For those of you who are asking, yeah, we are actually in real time, tick by tick, 242.50 now on Apple. It's literally that fast. We don't wait for the bid to ask. We get the tick by tick. Those of you are also asking about, well, I want to see all kinds of data, BigBeat. How do I see that? We also have it in a way that you can see all kinds of data in here as well. All right, I'm going to bring him in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to bring in my boy, Steve Flanagan. Let's see if I can do this right here. Steve Flanagan, how are you this morning, my man?
Good morning, Steve. You got the helm by yourself today.
You know, it's been a while. I feel like I'm gripping the horse by the reins and going, right?
This is old times for you and I.
I've been doing this a long time, my man. So look at you know what's interesting is we can actually, you know what, for you, Steve, I will create a new one here. We'll just do this right here. We'll add a widget. I'll show you just how fast we can do it here for Steve. Right in here inside of TradingView, I've implemented all of TradingView, but the 4x heat map. We'll pull that up for everybody so you can see it. So Steve talks about the 4x. What do I mean by that heat map? Well, that tells me what's hot and what's not. And you can see I'm pulling it down so we can see. We call this in the world, well, you know what, Steve? I'll let you talk about, what do we call this?
Well, the heat map is a good indication of, where market volume, where attention is at. What's the obvious play here? Clearly euro dollar. The DXY is very active, but the euro dollar is the one. We put a piece out last night talking, now we're post ECB and post Fed. This is a green light here to sell the euro dollar, in my opinion, because you've got Christine Lagarde still talking about inflation.
What was that yesterday, Steve? You and I have been watching these markets for, good Lord, decades now. I just have to ask, did you understand what Christine Lagarde was saying yesterday? I didn't understand what Powell was saying. He seemed very confused. There's NVIDIA, for those of you who are following at home, 125.72. I said 127 is where we're going to. I think that's where we're going to today. But Christine Lagarde says, oh, we're not behind. We're not behind. We're not having any problems. We're coming back. I'm going to cut rates today. Yeah. What is that?
Amazing, Steve. Yes, Powell looked confused, and as you're beginning to read some of the digest, and you always talk about the 24 to 48 hours afterwards,
Yeah.
as you're beginning to read, suddenly people are saying, well, actually, it had a dovish tilt to it, which is what we anticipated, a dovish hold. But back to the ECB, my goodness, how many times did she reference by the end of 2025 we'll be at 2%? Well, guess what? You're just a hair above it right now.
What do you need, right? Exactly. What do you need? Hey, for those of you playing at home, 126 on NVIDIA, congratulations. If you bought it with me yesterday, 118.32. I'm still long NVIDIA, and I'm still long Tesla for those of you playing at home, but congratulations. Yeah, look, here's something very interesting. Trump talked about in the currency. He was saying, look, if any of the BRICS nations get off the dollar, I'm going to tear the hell out of you. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, first of all, the BRIC nations have been talking about this since its inception, and it's they can't even get all its nations to agree on where to meet. So I'm not really worried about this. I think really what you're seeing is Trump is beginning to move, Steve, this is right in your ballpark with Bob Rubin, into, I'm waiting for his comment to come out here about a strong dollar policy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you look at the Dixie right now. I mean, the Dixie gold popping here, 28.14, you got Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee now on CNBC. I think the markets are confused, but I think there's still some bullishness in the stocks, and I think that that dollar is going to stay strong here. Tick now down 128, but 108.43 on the Dixie.
Right, dollar's going to stay strong. King dollar scenario all the way here. What we've just learned here in 24, 48 hours is that our central banks are looking backwards at data and saying, oh, by the way, December's data was weak, so we need to maybe move interest rates. Meanwhile, the markets are saying, you're useless. You're not giving us anything to trade upon here. And the markets are beginning to burst out into their own. Now, a king dollar scenario here, if we get through this 108.60, as I've been mentioned on Wednesday, I'm targeting back to the highs of 110.18. And, honestly, I think that between the next 3 to 6 months, you could easily see this as a run up to the $115 index level before the central banks now react on the data that's now behind them. But a stronger dollar also brings interest rates lower because you don't need the interest rate lever of higher interest rates to attract capital flow. Capital flow is moving to the U.S. as we see. Every single day, we see a different announcement about a different firm moving funds into the U.S. So I'm actually, quite bullish here on the dollar index, on the dollar in general, specifically very bearish on the euro dollar. Following the ECB, Germany comes out and says, well, our CPI was 2.3% in January on a yearly basis, and the retail sales in Germany minus 1.6%. They were expecting a small up number. So it's very clear. ECB is just falling further and further behind.
And, I think at some point, you looked at it from the perspective of Janet Yellen. She says, I made a mistake. She claimed that I made a mistake. It seems to me that Lagarde is just pushing the envelope saying, hey, you know what? She's not saying I made a mistake. She's saying I'm doing the right way and everything's going the right way for us. But even though three of the 12 countries are in a recession.
Right. And wasn't it amazing that she actually mentioned the Draghi report?
Yes, she did. We mentioned that 2 days ago. Yes.
She covered herself perfectly there. But, ECB now in the backdrop, they're not doing anything. They're going to wait for the economy just to completely crater. Now, again, ECB has one mandate, and that mandate is inflation. So that's why I think I counted at least 9 times in the first couple of minutes she mentioned the word inflation. She's clearly saying my mandate's inflation, not growth. Growth is up to the governments, but the governments are tied by Maastricht Treaty. They can't expand fiscal spending. So we're going to quickly move away from the euro. I believe the euro on a break of 102 is going to set up a test of parity and beyond. But now we're going to quickly now move, because next week we have Bank of England coming in. And are they going to drop the ball? Because the Bank of England right now has interest rates at 4.75%, and their economy is beginning to crater. So I'll go back out on a limb. I'm looking for a 0.5% cut. Somebody's got to get out in front here. If they go 0.25%, watch out below in the sterling.
Yeah, and I'm going to post that right now in the bottom here so everybody see that right now. There you go. That Bank of England is widely expected to cut interest rates by 0.25% to 4.5%. Let's talk about one country that is bucking the trend here a little bit, and that would be Japan.
Yeah, Steve, Japan. Now, I still love the yen. I think Japan is very closely aligned in the U.S. As far as the growth and technology, but dollar yen is higher today. How come? Well, the Japanese Prime Minister, Ishiba, last night came out and said that we will continue to invest and create jobs in the United States. So yet again, we've got more capital flow. So that when I saw the comment, I immediately said, well, okay, that's going to probably unnerve people that are getting long the yen. Because if you're long yen, short dollars in an environment that we're very pro-dollar, king dollar scenario, you've got to play dollar yen in the range. So clearly closer to the 153 level right now is a buy, and closer to the 155, 156 is a sell. I like being long yen. It's just that we may want to pick a different currency to be long yen, maybe short euro, or long yen, short the sterling.
Yes, and we're pulling up the yen right now. You can see right there. I think you're right. You're saying go long the yen. I like this play here. I agree with that. Now that I'm back from Tokyo, I'm okay with that. Okay, because now I've spent my money at sumo wrestling already. I'm happy to say that.
Steve, I meant to get your attention on Wednesday and say, how did you like shopping in Japan and the greeting you got not only when you entered but when you left the store?
100%. I love everybody. If you don't know, I love Japan a lot. Look, the streets are clean. People are extremely nice, and they are. The traditions are still very much in use there, and I think that in a lot of ways we need to go back to some of those things ourselves, right? I mean, I think that. But when you look at it from the business perspective, they are falling behind a bit, and I think that's part of the problem. We don't, as Americans, think of Japan as technology falling behind, and I think that's why you're seeing it. Now, for me, Steve, I don't want to see the dollar this strong, because that puts a damper on places like Disney. And our biggest export in the United States is definitely Netflix and our movies and our software, and that puts a big tariff on it automatically. We're seeing now a pop here now in Bitcoin 104 at almost 105 again. So, and Nvidia pushing here too, 125.77. So there we go, is not stopping. But Steve, the strong dollar here is really putting a big damper on international coming to us.
Steve, I don't think you're wrong in that respect. And, you and I have many decades of trading behind us. But so I'll just emphasize this. The United States has had a trade deficit. Correct.
Yeah.
And when the dollar was really weak, we would have expected that to change, right? Because that's the basic economic. If you got a weak currency, you should be able to sell more goods. But that didn't happen. So I don't think that the dollar trading at these levels here is considered strong from a perspective of perhaps the last 10 to 15 years. Yes. But if you open that up, keeping in mind currency's only free floated since 1971, if you look at it from a longer term perspective, the dollar is still right in the middle of its zone. So I don't really think that a Dixie trading up to 115 is going to have that much of an effect. If anything, it's attracting flows into the U.S., investment flows, and it's only going to strengthen the domestic economy here.
And you're seeing Fed's Goolsbee now saying he still thinks rates will be lower 12 to 18 months from now, and says that we're still on track for 2% inflation. You agree with him?
I do. I really like him. He is the guy I follow very closely because he is very in tune to the automatic adjustment processes that take place in today's global electronic markets. And he is very in tune to that. But, Steve, I would have to say one of the things that unnerved me about the ECB and the Fed, not one of them mentioned the exchange rate.
Yeah,
And
I agree with that.
given the fact that you and I are saying the dollar is strong, not one of them is worried at all. So that's why I went green light, sell euros, buy dollars, green light, buy the Dixie. I mean, I just think that if the central banks are turning their head and saying they're not concerned about exchange rates, and I'm a strong proponent that the genie that they spent 30 plus years putting back in the bottle in the currency markets, that volatility is set now to completely break out as interest rate divergence continues throughout the world.
Yeah, and of course, Goolsbee now says the job market looks settled in around full employment. So if that's the case, I think they're going to lay off of the rate cuts and I think maybe keep it the way it is. Now, I have to ask you the very important question, I don't know this answer, but is there a purple tie to be bought anywhere near New York City, Washington, D.C.? I think our Fed chair Powell owns every single purple tie in the world.
Yeah, I know you're a strong proponent on what tie is he wearing, because that's the tip-off on what the policy implications will be. So, yeah, purple is in.
All right, my man, Steven, I love you, man. We'll see you right back here next week.
Have a great weekend and all the best, Steve.